Hello, it's me again, Oscar Sisk. Continuing the discussion. Sorry about the black eye. I overstretched a bungee cord and it smacked me in the face. Um, so I've been vacant for a while. I've been very busy helping some people out with projects. Right now, I'm waiting for one of the people that I'm helping to meet up with me for a project. But anyway, I've said before that I believe that there was a person, Jesus Christ. Uh, there has been some literature saying that Jesus never existed, and they put a pretty good argument, but there's just too much evidence to say that he did. Now, some of the points are that are important is the Gospels, all four Gospels were written after the Flavian emperors. That's after Nero. The Flavian emperors were trying to shut down the Jewish revolt. The Jews were at war during the time, and in fact, they kicked the Romans out of Jerusalem. They were that significant. And the Russians came back with a vengeance, and under Vespasian's son Titus, both of those ended up being emperors. They completely wiped out Jerusalem, just destroyed it completely, and put down the revolt. But they needed a plan to stop the revolt from extending through not just force, but, and by the way, the crucifixions then must have been just awesome because, terrible awesome, because crucifixions, it wasn't so much a punishment as it was a warning not to rebel. Sometimes they even split the corpses in half and hung them just to show the brutality of going against them. Lots of times they would kill somebody, then crucify them. The idea was that they would leave the body just hanging there, probably till it rotted. But they wanted to pacify the Jews, to make it soft. Settle down, guys. And they worked with the Jewish leaders in the temple. People don't know that the Romans actually occupied a place next to a headquarters next to the Jewish temple, and worked with the Jews because the Jewish leadership, prior to AD 70, were the tax collectors for the Romans. They were the pacifists, the settle down group. And so the fact that the Gospels were written after that time, by most theologians think so, and the Bible presents Jesus as a get along, go along sort of fella with, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, turn the other cheek. If a soldier asks you to carry his pack for a mile, you carry it for two. If he asks you to give you his coat, you give him your cloak also, etc., etc. Always the very pacifist point of view. So when the by the way, after AD 70, all the big old menorah and the showbread table and the gold and all that was all carted off to Rome, and it stayed in Rome, never to return to Jerusalem. I think it was finally disappeared, I don't know, many decades later, out of Rome, when Rome was sacked. But, and the historical documents were actually kept by the high oligarchs of the Flavian dynasty and the Alexander family and the Herod's family, like a private library, and all the other documents were wiped out, destroyed. it could be that the brother of Jesus, John, who continued the rebellion in the church, his writings they never made canon, and they also got whatever there was got wiped out. So the Bible then became very Romanized, very, well, the center of Rome for 1,000 years was in Rome, not Jerusalem. And the emperors were either appointed the popes or were popes themselves. So for like 1,000 years. So and they did do a lot of pacification, but it wasn't Jesus's pacification. It was the way they edited the Bible, or at least their Jewish and early Christian, I should say, pagan popes, edited the Bible by wiping out the non-canon Bible references, like, the Gospels that people say that are non-canon Gospels. Anyway, so really it's Paul and the Romans who kind of controlled what goes into the Bible, and I think that's probably enough. I'll continue this later. Thank you.